Good evening, everybody. We're doing something real fun tonight. We're going to be kicking some ass. All right. Whose or what's is, if that's a word, whose ass are we kicking? We're going to be kicking some excuse ass tonight, right? By the way, for those of you who haven't been following me for very long, ass happens to be one of my favorite words in the English language because it's such a useful word. It can be used in so many different ways. An English nerd, what's happening? Great to see you here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for dropping by and saying hi. By the way, those of you who aren't already following An English Nerd, make sure you follow An English Nerd. She is an English nerd, but I would prefer to call her the English nerd. So make sure you follow her. Her tag is An English Nerd. No dots, no under bars, no underscores, no spaces. An English Nerd. All is like mushed as one big word. We also have Neo here. Hey Neo, how you doing? Neo runs a page. Neo is Japanese, by the way. He's not a native speaker, just like me. Neither of us are native speakers, but he teaches English, which I think is wonderful. You got to check the quality of his videos, though. Real polished, professional looking. The man's a genius. And one of my students is here. How you doing? We just had a lesson just a few minutes ago. So yeah, I just finished an online lesson. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I teach on italki. Italki is a really cool website on the internet where you can find people to teach you any language you can think of. If the language exists, there's probably somebody on italki who teaches it. So, and of course, English is definitely on there. If you want to take online lessons with skilled and qualified and talented teachers, you got to check out italki. And if you want a special discount on italki, send me a direct message. I'll give you a little voucher code. The voucher code actually helps me out as well because I get a little kickback from it. But if you do use it, you end up getting a $10 voucher, which goes towards your second lesson. Book the first lesson for about $10, and then it's like buy one get one free kind of thing. Anyways, let's carry on with kicking some ass tonight. We're going to be going through. You know what? We're going to title. First of all, let's come up with a title. I'm going to type the title of today's live here. The title is what's your damn excuse? What's your damn excuse? All right, and I'm going to put an exclamation mark on the end just because I can. All right, here we go. And we're going to pin that comment. Pin it. SureBear TV, that's Charlie, teacher Charlie, who lives in Tokyo, and he runs his own English school there. He doesn't teach online, which is a bit of a shame because the man is, and from what I know, from as far as I can see, an excellent teacher. But if you want to take lessons with Charlie, you got to fly your ass down to Tokyo. All right. And we also got Arash here. Arash runs another English page worth following. Doesn't matter whether you're in Iran or not because he posts, most of his posts tend to be in English. But I think, if I remember correctly, Arash, correct me if I'm wrong, you do use a little bit of Persian in some of your videos. But please correct me if I'm wrong. But regardless, whether you speak Persian or not, English with Arash, another page worth following. All right, so what's your damn excuse? What's your damn excuse? All right, let's go through every excuse that we can possibly think of as to why you can't be fluent in English. Okay, and we're gonna kick some ass. We're gonna put up this excuse like up on a little stand kind of thing, and we're gonna knock the shit out of it. Right? That's what we're doing tonight. This is going to be a bit of fun. So, for everyone watching, the teachers here as well, we've got wonderful teachers here. Love this community. We also got learners here. Start throwing your excuses out in the comments. Start typing away. Let's go through them one by one and just kick the shit out of some excuses. All right. And let's see. We can. I've got my computer here in front of me, so I'm gonna turn away just a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can record this live, and it doesn't seem like I can. Oh well, that's unfortunate. I've been trying to figure out a way of kind of saving lives, because you know how these things are only up for like 24 hours. I hate that. I want to be able to save them, turning them into a video so that people who don't watch live can still watch it later on. If you know some way of doing that, some easy way of doing that, I know some real, pain in the ass ways of doing it, but if you know an easy way of doing it, please do let me know. All right. So first excuse that we're going to talk about is my vocabulary sucks. My vocabulary sucks. Or I don't have native vocabulary. Like there is such a thing. But okay, let's call it let's go with that. Okay. So there are all these videos out there on YouTube, on Instagram, and these are clickbaity videos. There's nothing wrong with clickbait. We all do it. I do it because we're on Instagram, we're on social media with a purpose, and that is to kind of grow our audience. And that's one of the things. We want to grow our audience, of course, while helping you guys, right? So there are these kind of like clickbaity videos. Oh my gosh, my comments are like paused for a moment. Application in Grabber. Okay, I like that. In Grabber. I'm going to check that out. In Grabber, is that available on Windows, or is that an iOS app? Is it Android? Arash, if you could let me know, I really appreciate it. Okay, so there are all these videos that say, hey, if you use this vocabulary, if you use these 10 words, you're going to sound like a native, right? If you use these 5 words, you're going to sound like a native. That I call BS on that. I call BS on that. Here's why. What makes you sound, well, first of all, let's kind of define what it means to sound like a native, because for a lot of you who are watching this, when we try and define what it means to be fluent, a lot of people equate the word fluent with speaking like a native, right? If I am fluent equals I speak like a native. That's what a lot of you kind of define fluency as. I would say that's wrong. I'm going to be upset. You know what? This entire live, I'm going to be upsetting a lot of people here, but that's cool. I don't necessarily think that that's the case, but okay, let's say that's what it is for argument's sake. So if you use these 10 words, you're going to sound more native. And I would tell you, you can, and when you guys watch these videos, these 10 words, if I memorize them and start sprinkling them everywhere like confetti in my vocabularies, in my vocabularies, what am I saying? In my sentences, in my speech, during my IELTS exam, just start sprinkling these 10 words that I saw in a YouTube video all over the place, like it's icing on a cake, like it's chocolate sprinkles on a sundae. You think that you're going to get a better score because you sound more native. You sound more native, right? Actually, no. Here's what makes you sound more native. Using words that are appropriate to the context and appropriate to what you're talking about and what you're actually trying to communicate. That's what makes you sound more fluent. That's what makes you a better communicator. And that's actually what shows that you have a strong command of the English language. Right? So if you start using technical, like overly technical vocabulary, when people sit around a table at a picnic having some drinks and some sandwiches, people are not going to be thinking, wow, this guy's got a wonderful vocabulary. He must be a really fluent English speaker. They're going to think, this dude does not know what he's talking about. He doesn't even know what the words he's using actually means, is what they're going to say. Because you're not using them in the right context. Right? And it's the same. It's not just with vocabulary. It's with the same applies to idioms, to phrasal verbs. You could memorize all the phrasal verbs and idioms idioms that you want, and if you're not using them in the appropriate context, you are actually using them to show that your English sucks rather than show that your English is actually good. All right. Yeah, limited vocabulary, maybe it could be a problem with our confidence during a conversation. Yeah. You know, if you don't know a lot of words and you're kind of searching for words a lot, yeah, that can hurt your confidence. I do think it's good to improve your vocabulary if you're at a point where you're regularly and frequently searching for the right words to communicate really simple ideas, right? Yes, I would say that yes, you're lacking in, I would use the phrase, you are lacking in vocabulary in such a situation. But if you're able to communicate all your ideas clearly and smoothly without thinking too much, hey, thank you, Charlie, for dropping by. I'll catch you later, man. Then yes, then I would say no, you are not lacking in vocabulary. Now, by the way, since we're on the topic of vocabulary, does anybody know, here's a little trivia question, how many words do you need to know in order to communicate almost all the time? Like we're talking 95 plus, probably 99% of the time. In 99% of situations that you're going to encounter in everyday life, living in an English-speaking country, how many words do you think you need to know? Including, let's say, read a newspaper. How many words do you think you need? How big of a vocabulary do you think you need to have? Start typing those numbers in the comments. 800 words, Hami Deti says. Let's see. Okay, 800 words? I don't know. Okay, good guess though. Good guess. Okay, English Shahab says 4,000. Okay, that's a big number. So we have 800, we got 4,000, two, really far apart. Ama Learner says 1,000 words. Okay, all right, that's closer to. Our English Vid says 3,000. Baba Moo is waving. Hi, man. It's great to see you here, man. Any other guesses? We got 800, 4,000, 1,000, 3,000. But it depends, Shahab says. Yeah, you're right. It does depend. It depends how pedantic you want to be. Pedantic means like fussy and scrupulous and meticulous about the calculations and the fine, small details. 212 English School teacher Michael is here. By the way, Michael recently posted a video of me, but that's part of a 30 video series over 30 days where he's going to be giving English tips from 30 different teachers this month. If you're not following 212 English School, you're not going to know about this stuff, so it's a pretty good idea at this point to head over to Michael's page, 212 English School, and send him a follow. Oh, not send him a follow. Follow his page, man. Just follow his page. Actually, 212 English School is sending a request. I didn't realize that he was sending a request. Michael's probably one of the best people. He'd add a bit more color. Michael, how you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Fantastic, man. Where are you right now? You're outdoors?
Actually, I just did a live myself, and then I posted today's recommendation. Today's
nice.
Yeah. So I'm just walking home because it's
Okay.
It's 11 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that you wrote, "What's your damn excuse?" And it's really funny that you say that because I was just screaming on my live, telling everybody the same thing. People are just full of excuses, man. That's what it boils down to. People are just, it's crazy, but they're just full of excuses.
What are the odds that, so I'll be totally honest, like this topic for tonight's live was actually inspired by what Stu's been posting recently with this hashtag do something.
Do you know how that's, that's from him, because we were talking about that. We were talking about going out for a drink, and I was like, man, I can't drink a lot. I have to wake up so I can go jog. And then he was like, I got to do this. it's like, all right, I had when I first lost weight, I used to post my runs, just so excited about it. And then my friend posted his run, and I was so mad that he ran faster than me that I went home, changed my running sneakers, and I posted it. Then another friend, same time, posted it. So then we made a group chat, and we had like 18 people, and we would just wake up in the morning, and everybody would go run. And we were from all different parts, so it was like Japan, New York. One guy was in Los Angeles. So we would, and then they were all random times. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to post my stuff. Next day, ran, and I posted my stuff, and Stu got inspired. So same thing as the group chat. Like, we were just, like, competing against each other. And it was so addictive to, like, you know how you wake up in the morning and you see your, and the first thing on your feed would be someone else's run or someone else's workout. And you're like, oh, bro, I got to the point that I couldn't sleep. I was like, I'm not waiting tomorrow. I'm going to go jog. And I remember I jogged at in the morning till like 4. I ran 23 miles. Like, no, 23 kilometers. Sorry. 23 kilometers? Yeah. I just couldn't sleep. I was so mad that my friend posted a longer run than I was like, no one's going to beat me tomorrow.
But like, as much as you say, like, it's competitive and like you had like this fire to like constantly better, not just yourself, but be better than everybody else.
Yeah.
It was friendly competition, right?
Yes, of course. But it was great because nobody made fun of nobody. You know, it was about, we wanted to motivate each other to go out. And even if you didn't do like what another person did, you still went out there and you did it. And that's the point, is to go out there and do the best that you can do, because you're not anybody else. Yeah. You know, and you're competing against yourself, because if you look back at your times or your distances, they would be faster, longer, your weight was going down. We were running so much that one of my friends, he's an older gentleman, he was over 50, that he had to get some liquid drained out his knees. Because he was running so much. But he was just so excited. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And people have to be like that. And nobody had an excuse. We ran in the rain. We ran with old sneakers. Like, no one cared, because it was kind of like Fight Club. Remember how, like, in Fight Club, it's like a reason. Yeah, it was that. So that's how it started with Stu. And now it's evolving. Now everybody's jumping on it. And I'm super excited. So
wait, with the running thing, like Stu and you were doing like a running thing, or like?
So we were just like, because I want to motivate Stu to drop some weight and to run. So then Stu was like, we'll just make it into like a full-blown challenge thing. But it came out from our conversation. So and this morning I was laughing, so I was like, I'm not taking a rest. I was like, I'm winning. I was like, I don't care. I was like, even if I just run a kilometer, like, we have to go out there. And that's what I try to tell everybody else when they're learning. It's like, just a little bit, but you have to push yourself more than you did yesterday. And a lot of people are not doing that, you know?
Yeah, man. Okay, well, I don't want to take a whole lot of your time. You probably got like a...
No worries. So good.
I want to ask you this, Michael. So we're talking about excuses, right? The topic is, what's your damn excuse? What's an excuse that you heard about from an English learner about why they can't improve or why they're not making progress recently? What would you say to them?
The most common is the I don't have a native speaker to talk to. I think that's the most common that I hear constantly. Yeah. But the second most common is, I don't have time.
Yeah.
But the same people who don't have time are the same people who watch a lot of TV, or who, you know, there's a time for everything else except for people find it easier to find time for enjoyment, not find time to upgrade themselves, to, you know, to do things that would, improve themselves. Self-improvement is, you can't feel it. You can't touch it. You know what I'm saying? It's in here. Yeah. So people rather find time for entertainment, not self-improvement.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
you're
those top
preaching, man.
two.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. Like personal development. Look, I'll be
Yes,
honest with
that's
you,
the
man. Like
word.
I think I've been that guy. I've been that guy whose entire life was just, you know, like going out to school or going to work, and then sitting in front of a computer screen playing video games all day. I've been that guy, you
Been
know.
there too. Been there too.
And at the end of that, like, you know, I'm in no way better at anything. I'm better at clicking a mouse and pushing buttons on a keyboard, and that's about it.
Yes,
You know.
yes, yes. But it's like, you know, those people who say like I started my own business because I didn't take a day off for
Yeah.
3.5 years, right?
Yeah.
And then when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, I need my time off."
Mm.
But yet, those are the same people who complain because they haven't gone up in their life.
Yeah.
So that's another excuse, is that people rather enjoy their time off, right? Oh, I need to be lazy. But those are the same people who complain about it later on.
Yeah.
There's always enough time. They're just sacrifices on things that a lot of people don't want to make, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. And then, so the same people, I'm like, okay, so don't do it. I never heard anyone successful who said, oh, I did it 15 minutes a day. And that's
Yeah.
commercial. I'm saying
They probably, you know, that successful person probably started with 15 minutes a day.
yes,
Right.
yes, 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 100%. Look at Elon Musk. They were talking about Elon Musk. They were like, how can he do all those things? And it was like, he makes the best of his time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it too. Even when I study Japanese, like, I'll study for like 2 minutes, and I check my phone, I'll get a message, you know? Like, you don't make the best of your time. And that's what most people do, including myself. I'm no angel or nothing, but people are just not putting in the work, and they're not
Yeah.
even, you know what I'm saying? They're not making the best of their time either.
Yeah. 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 I like that, man. I like that. Just so I'm gonna paraphrase. I'm gonna try my paraphrase what you just said.
Okay.
If you're saying to yourself, I don't have time to do the things that I know I need to do to achieve my goals. I need to start prioritizing and maybe cut a few things out of what I am spending my time on.
100%. That's what I, with a lot less cursing. Thank you, Dave. Very articulate of you.
Yeah.
But I bet
curse.
you hear it too,
Did I
right?
curse?
No.
No. Actually, I haven't heard that one a whole lot. I think it's because, like, you teach at an English school. You have your own English school, and you're seeing
Yeah.
students on a regular basis. Whereas me, I'm actually not an English teacher in my day job. You know, I mostly teach online, like through social media, so I don't have that direct contact with a lot of my students.
Okay.
So that's probably one reason why I don't hear it. It's not like, you know, they walk into one of my lessons after a long day at work, and I'm like, yo, why didn't you study? Or like, you know, what happened to what we talked about last lesson? And they're like, oh, I've been super busy, I haven't had the time. You know, like I don't have that opportunity. So, but the other one that you mentioned, like, I don't have a native speaker to talk to. That's one that I see all the time on
All
social
the time.
media. Yeah.
Oh, you hear that often, and you know, I do feel it. I completely understand that, because I've been in that boat when I first came to Japan. I was like, you know, I want to talk to a native person, but the person who taught me the most was a non-native person. They could break it down, you know, they could break it down into some way that I understand.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't even care to talk to a native person anymore. I'd rather talk to someone who can explain it to me in a way that I can understand it. That's why I don't agree with people who don't like to, like, you're not allowed to speak Japanese during the class. I'm like, how the hell do they understand? Like, there's so much, you know, underlining context that they're not understanding because you refuse to use Japanese in the class.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I mean, I'm one of those guys that discourages the use of Japanese in a classroom, but that's with a caveat. With a caveat.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Like, you know, I don't mean that as an absolute statement, but in a lot of the cases, like I mean that kind of almost as an overreaction to where I feel like at a lot of the places where I've worked, that we're babying our students. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of like stopping them and discouraging them almost from pushing themselves out of their comfort zone to actually learn, you know, learn in a way that they can learn, but they just choose not to because it's more comfortable, you know, like it's more comfortable to have that little cushion of like if I have a student that I'm teaching who I know has the potential to communicate something in English, sorry, and understand an explanation in English of something perfectly. And I know that from like, you know, what I've seen them produce and seen in them during our lessons. And they choose not to do it just because it's a little bit uncomfortable, because it's going to stretch them a little bit. Then I'm not taking that. I'm not tolerating that. I'm going to be like, no, we're going to do this in English because I know you can do it.
In that case, what I usually do is I let them say it in whatever language they want to. And then I say, okay, now tell me in English.
Yes, I do that as well.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm a firm believer. I even let them write it. So I'll say, like, write it down, get your thoughts out. Yeah. Now tell me in English. Because I agree with you, because they use it as a clutch. But you got to, that's a teaching moment. You know what I'm saying? That you have to use it to your advantage.
And I think it's like a little bit of like our role as a teacher as a motivator as well. Because I think sometimes, like, every student is different, right? Like they have their little personality issues that affect how they use the language. So it could just be a confidence issue. Like, I don't know if I can say this in English, but I know this is what I'm trying to say in Japanese or in my native language. So I'm going to say it in my native language. And then, you know, you as the teacher, as the person who's trying to motivate them, comes along and says, no, look, I know you can do this. You know, go ahead. Exactly. You know, go ahead. Yeah, I'm right here, you know, to help you if you need it, but I don't think you need it. I think you can do this. Go ahead and say it in English. Yes. Say it the way that you think you're supposed to say it. And then when they say it, and you'd be like, yeah, that's it. Exactly. You got it.
100%. 100%. I'm gonna leave you this to give a chance to your listeners.
Yeah.
When I opened my business and I got the keys to my business, the first thing I did was go into an empty room and start crying. I went to my room and I was like, what did I do? That was the dumbest shit I ever fucking did in my life. I was like, this is stupid. And then the only thing that kept me afloat was I kept thinking, if my mom and dad went to America and they could work their ass off and find whatever means necessary to succeed, then I can do it. So I always give my same advice to my students when it comes to learning English. Stop using excuses. Do whatever it takes to learn. Yeah. You live here, and we both have non-native, right, partners, right? Yeah. Who are not Japanese, right?
Yep.
So then when you do something like that, it's extremely difficult. But we find a way, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say the same thing to your listeners and my listeners is find a way. You're going to come up. I keep saying this is like my quote of the year right now is stop hanging out with people who give problems to all your solutions. Find solutions, you know what I'm saying? And stop hanging out with people who give problems to all your solutions because it's just fucking you up.
Exactly. I like that. I'm going to steal that quote. And whenever I say it, I'll credit you every time I say it, though.
No, I'm going to be honest. I don't know where I got it from, but it's like... I keep saying it because, you know, how many times have we not hung out with people who do that all the time? Or just in our own minds, we always give a problem to every solution. Turn that around. Give solutions to all the problems. And you'll notice there's not that many problems.
Yeah, for sure. I like that, man. I like that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for opening this stuff up. I'm almost home. I'm trying not to show where I live. I'm walking around in circles. Anyway, brother.
Sorry, man. I'm keeping you out in the cold.
No worries. Not even that cold today. But Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Keep that on. Put that, on the DMs. Man. That's personal stuff. All right, brother. Take it easy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good night, man.
You too, brother. Later, man.
All right. Hey, that was Michael from 212 English School. He runs his own English school also in Tokyo or close to Tokyo. Just like Charlie, who was here earlier. If you want to take lessons with him, he doesn't teach online. Oh, wait, no, I think he does, actually. I'd have to double check, where you can ask him. Send him a message, ask him if he'll teach you online. But if he doesn't, you got to fly your ass down to Tokyo to take a lesson with him. All right. So that's one excuse. All right, Bushra. Bushra, I would say your name as Bushra. 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 You happy? You happy that I said Bushra? Nasim Saidi. Hey, I would love to help you with your fluency. That's all I do online, that is. In my day job, I work at a corporate company that sells cars, and I work in an office. It's got nothing to do with teaching English, but outside of my day job, I teach English online. But there's so many of you out there in the world who I want to help that I can't spend like an hour or half an hour just talking with just one person at a time. That's a huge portion of the time that I have available to teach English. So here's what I've done in the last couple of weeks, right? I've started an online course, an online school, kind of. And what it is it's basically me sharing everything that I know from my experience teaching. You know, I started teaching, I used to be a full-time teacher. I was teaching English here in Japan starting 12 years ago. No, sorry, not 12 years ago. Starting 2012, I mean. And of course, I'm a language learner as well. And I guess probably the thing that I try to market myself as, the thing that I sell myself as, is I am a non-native. English is not my mother tongue, but I speak English as my strongest language, as my first language. And the way that I achieved this, which is what many of you are aspiring to, is I learned the language the same way that native speakers learned the language. And I did not have a native teacher. I did not have friends around me who were native speakers to practice with all the time. I grew up in Brunei. English is not the native language in Brunei. It's not the national language. Hey, Annie, how you doing? And I didn't grow up in an English-speaking family. I mean, yes, my parents know how to speak English. My siblings know how to speak English, but we didn't speak English at home. So how did I learn to speak English the way I did? It doesn't matter. Just like what Mike was saying a few minutes ago, it does not matter whether you are a native or not. It does not matter whether you have a native speaker to practice with or not. You can be fluent. I've been using a hashtag, anyone can be fluent, and I really believe it. By the way, how many words do you need to know to communicate in almost any situation at all? 2,000. Depending on which source you check. And by the way, we had answers ranging from 800 to 4,000. Some estimates say 4,000. That probably includes highly technical vocabulary that you might need to use in sort of a sciencey technology sort of industry professionally, or if you're reading scientific journals, or if you're at university. But for, say, living in an English-speaking environment, going through your day-to-day tasks, even talking to your colleagues at work, and even doing basic level, workplace conversations, 2,000 words will get you through. And even for reading the newspaper. And by having just those 2,000 words, and this set of 2,000 includes words like he, she, it, they, I, my, go, and these really kind of common words that occur all the time, all over the place. That will give you the tools to get clarification in English, to learn in English, even when you come across things that you don't understand, new things, new words, new phrases. If you have this set of 2,000 words, even when you encounter new information, if somebody explains that to you 100% in English, you would still be able to learn that and understand that. So as soon as somebody gets close to that 2,000 word benchmark, that's when that person is ready to start learning in English most of the time, predominantly. Back to what was the name? Naseem Saidi. Back to your question about how can I help you and teach you. Listen, I teach online on italki. I just did a lesson before this live, and my lessons on italki are about $25 per hour. Okay, that's what they cost. Which that's if you're going to have a one-to-one lesson with me. But I know that is not something that everybody can afford. I understand that is a pretty big investment. So what I've done is I've decided to give as many people as possible options, because I still want to keep helping people. So here's what I did. I created an online school, fluentlikeaboss.com, fluentlikeaboss.com. And even there, I do have a paid course, which is stupidly affordable. It's less than $2 per lesson, one lesson a week. And I give you all the tools that you need to learn like a native, to be fluent. Regardless, it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter if you have a native speaker to practice with or learn from, you can use these tools to become fluent on your own, the same way that I did. And so I do that weekly. I do one lesson a week. Every single lesson throughout history, from the first one, is saved on your own personal online dashboard, where you can watch the video lesson as many times as you want. You can take notes. I've got quizzes where you can answer the questions to check your understanding and review all the important information. And there are even worksheets that you can download and print out and use in your self-study, in your own study time, or even in your classrooms, together with your friends and study partners. It's there. I'm providing you the resources and tools that you need to improve your English. Now, if $7 a month is something that you're not really ready to invest, and that's okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I'm not going to hold that against you. I still have options for you. I've got free lessons for you on the same website. Right now, there are 2 free lessons on there that you can watch and take the quiz and download the worksheet for. So look, if you do go for the $7 a month subscription, you'll get every single lesson that we do every week. And right now we're doing a series on pronunciation and accents. It's a complete course on every single sound in the English language, all 44 sounds, 20 vowel sounds, 24 consonant sounds. And we're going to go through them in strict detail, break them down, so you know exactly how to produce them clearly every single time you speak, so that you're easy to understand, no matter who you're speaking to. And that's what we're doing. And after we complete that series, we're going to go on to other aspects of learning the English language. Again, $7 a month. That's less than $2 per lesson. You get full, complete access. I don't. If that's not good enough, I don't know what is. And that doesn't even cover my costs. I'm actually spending more to run the website and use the tools than I am actually earning from it. So, this isn't even a for-profit sort of venture. But even then, again, if you do sign up for the course, I really appreciate it, because it would help me cover my costs. But even if you don't, that's still okay. I still have some stuff on there for you that you can use to learn, and you can use in your self-study. All right, so check it out, fluentlikeaboss.com. Create an account for free, and then there's 2 courses. There's the free section and the members section. You can choose which one you want to check out, and enroll. Once you click on it, make sure you hit enroll, and then you can access the lessons in those sections. All right, and I'm going to take one last question before we go. What do you suggest a person who used to be an English teacher but now has forgotten a lot of vocabulary because she's moved to a non-English speaking country for 5 years? Man, that's a tough spot to be in. I feel you. I totally understand how you feel, because I'm in a very similar position. So I live here in Japan, and you know, my wife is not, my wife and I, we don't speak to each other in English. We speak to each other in Japanese. So I don't use a lot of English. And even for the last 6 months, I've been working at a Japanese company. Again, I don't use English at work. So I don't get, you know, one of the ways that I kind of keep my English, you know, I keep my English brushed up, I guess, is by doing this on social media. So for teachers who are, you know, in a similar situation, I would totally encourage you to start teaching online. You know, get on italki. You can charge for your lessons, of course, if you want. So get on websites like italki to teach online. And two, start your own social media. You know, start posting videos, record yourself teaching, record yourself speaking about a certain topic. You know, by doing that, you get to, of course, practice your English, but at the same time, you're helping people. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of people out there who want to learn English. They want more resources. And I encourage and I want to support anybody out there who's willing to put their own time and energy and effort to create free resources to help people learn. Any kind of learning. It doesn't have to be English. Any kind of educational resource for free. People who are investing their own time in that, I can support that. And that's why you've seen me post on my stories recommendations of other teachers and other pages on Instagram. You know, I don't see this as a competition. You know, at the end of the day, I'm trying to help as many people as possible improve their English. And you know, however that happens, as long as they achieve that goal, I'm happy. If they're achieving that goal through watching my videos and using my resources and taking my lessons and you know, enrolling in my program, great, I'm happy. If they achieve the same goal by getting help from another teacher, by taking lessons from another teacher, or going to some other school, I am still happy, because I'm happy that my students or my followers achieved their goals in improving their English. That's my ultimate goal. So I'm totally happy to support and recommend and, you know, build up other teachers who, by the way, I don't just mean anybody who posts content, who posts what I think is quality learning content, quality resources to help people learn. All right. I'm gonna give you one last tip before I go. All right. Make sure you listen to this carefully. This, for everybody who stayed till the end, you are going to be glad that you stayed till the end, because I'm going to give you a super awesome tip. I have gotten a lot of messages from people asking, hey, I want a list of phrasal verbs, like all the phrasal verbs that I need to know. I want a complete list. I want like a book. Where can I get a book that gives me like a list of all the phrasal verbs that I need to learn? All right. And my answer to that is, number one, use a search engine on the internet instead of asking me, because my guess is as good as yours. Number two, you don't need a book like that. And number three, even if you get a book like that, you're probably not going to use it. And how I know you're not going to use it is because you have a completely free version of such a book in your hand right now, or in your pocket right now, and you are not using it. So even if you had a book like that, I am sure you wouldn't use it. You know what that is? All of you are on Instagram right now. If you were to go on Instagram's search field and you type in hashtag phrasal verb, hashtag phrasal verb, or hashtag phrasal verbs in the plural, you will get basically every single video that has ever been posted on Instagram in the entire history of Instagram on phrasal verbs will be right there in front of you, like as a list. You can scroll through the entire thing. You can scroll through and watch one video every day for the rest of your life, and you will probably still never be able to watch every single video. That's how many videos there are on phrasal verbs on Instagram. And if you are refusing to use that resource and you're looking for a book and you're sending me a direct message, if you don't even have the commitment and dedication to go on the internet and search for a book by yourself, then no, such a book is actually not going to make any difference whatsoever. What you need to do is not go get a book recommendation or go and buy a book. You need to actually start spending the time studying and learning with the resources that you're right there in your hand, what you have right in front of you. So if you want a complete list on phrasal verbs, that's what it is. Hashtag phrasal verbs, hashtag phrasal verb, follow the hashtag and watch all the videos that are available on Instagram about phrasal verbs. That's what you need. You don't need a book. All right. Thank you all for watching. I love yous. I'm cheering for you. I really do want you to succeed. As I said earlier, if you want more resources from me, if you want me to help you, I'd be totally happy to. You can check out my online course website, fluentlikeaboss.com. Or if you want to take private lessons with me on italki, they're roughly about $25 an hour. Send me a direct message. I actually taught a lesson on italki just earlier today before this live. Send me a message on italki. We'll do a private lesson. Or if you want free resources, fluentlikeaboss.com. If you want really affordable coaching, if you want to get in on the really affordable coaching program, weekly coaching program, $7 a month, again, fluentlikeaboss.com. All right. Have a wonderful night. Love yous. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep working hard. And like Teacher Stu says, do something. Don't waste your time. Do something. Work towards your goal. Put in your time and effort. All right. Cool. Love yous. Mwah. Take care.